Naomi's brutal message to Jade Cargill script. Naomi just declared war on Jade Cargill, and WWE is about to witness the most personal, most brutal women's feud of 2025. And if you think this is just another championship rivalry, you haven't been paying attention. What Naomi said on SmackDown wasn't just a challenge. It was a promise to expose Jade Cargill as the most overrated champion in WWE history. And honestly, she might be right. Let me set the stage for what went down. Jade Cargill just defeated Tiffany Stratton to become the new WWE Women's Champion. The match was solid, Jade looked dominant, and everyone assumed we'd get the typical celebration segment. New champion holds up the belt, cuts a generic promo about being the best, yada yada yada. But WWE had other plans. Much better plans. Jade's in the ring, championship on her shoulder, basking in the glory of her victory. She's talking about how she's the face of the women's division now, how nobody can touch her, how she's ushering in a new era. Standard champion talk. The crowd's into it. Everything seems normal. And then the lights shift. The music hits. And the entire arena loses their minds because Naomi's music just hit for the first time in over a year. The pop was deafening. Naomi walks out, and she looks different. She's not smiling. She's not dancing. She's not doing her usual entrance with the glow gear. She's dressed in all black, her face is stone cold serious, and she's walking to that ring like a woman on a mission. The crowd's chanting Naomi, Naomi, but she's not acknowledging them. Her eyes are locked on Jade Cargill, and if looks could kill, Jade would be dead right there. Naomi gets in the ring, and for a moment, there's just silence. Jade's looking confused, maybe a little amused, like, who is this woman interrupting my moment? And that's when Naomi grabs a microphone and delivers one of the most scathing, brutal promos I've heard in years. She doesn't congratulate Jade. She doesn't welcome her to the division. She goes straight for the jugular. Here's my first question for you: did Naomi go too far with what she said, or did Jade deserve every word? Drop your honest opinion in the comments because this is controversial. Naomi starts by saying, "Congratulations, Jade. You finally won the big one. Must feel good to have something you didn't earn handed to you on a silver platter." The crowd gasps. That's a shot. That's not subtle. That's Naomi basically calling out WWE for giving Jade opportunities that others had to work years to get. And she didn't stop there. You walked into WWE with a guaranteed contract, guaranteed TV time, and guaranteed title shots because you were the flavor of the month from another company. Meanwhile, women like me, like Bianca, like Bayley, we spent years grinding in NXT, proving ourselves on the main roster, fighting for every single opportunity we got. And you? You just showed up and skipped the line. The crowd split. Half are cheering because Naomi's speaking truth. The other half are booing because that's disrespectful to Jade. But Naomi doesn't care. She keeps going. I've been gone for over a year. I had a baby. I created life. And during that time, I watched from home as WWE put all their resources, all their marketing, all their push behind you. And you know what I saw? I saw someone who looks the part but can't deliver when it matters. I saw someone who's all show and no substance. I saw someone who doesn't respect this business, doesn't respect the women who built this division, and doesn't deserve to hold that championship. Jade's face is turning red. She's trying to interject, but Naomi's on a roll. So here's what's going to happen. I'm back. And I'm taking that title from you. Not because I need it. Not because I want the spotlight. But because that championship deserves to be held by someone who actually earned their place here. Someone who actually paid their dues. Someone who actually belongs at the top of this division. And Jade? That's not you. The microphone drops. The crowd erupts. Jade's fuming, stepping forward like she's about to throw hands. And Naomi doesn't back down an inch. They're face to face, nose to nose, and security has to rush in to separate them before things get physical. But the damage is done. The message is sent. And WWE just created their hottest feud of the year in the span of 5 minutes. Now let's unpack this, because there are layers to what just happened. First, let's talk about Naomi's return. She's been gone since early 2024 due to pregnancy. During her absence, the women's division evolved. New stars emerged. Jade Cargill came in from AEW and immediately got pushed to the moon. Tiffany Stratton became a breakout star. The landscape changed completely. So Naomi returning to a division that doesn't look the same as when she left creates natural friction. But what makes this brilliant is that Naomi's promo taps into real frustrations that hardcore fans have had about Jade Cargill's push. Don't get me wrong, Jade's talented, she's got an incredible look, and she has star potential. But there's no denying that she's gotten opportunities much faster than most women do. She came to WWE with minimal in-ring experience compared to veterans, and she was immediately put in high-profile spots. That rubbed some people the wrong way. Naomi voicing those frustrations gives her promo legitimacy. She's not just cutting a heel promo or a babyface promo. She's speaking for a segment of the audience that feels exactly the way she does. That's smart character work. That's how you create genuine investment in a feud. Quick poll, who's the better wrestler right now, Naomi or Jade Cargill? Be honest in the comments. Let's talk about Jade's reaction. She didn't back down. After security separated them, Jade grabbed a microphone and fired back. You think you can just come back after a year and act like you run this place? I'm the champion. I beat everyone they put in front of me. If you've got a problem with how I got here, then step up and do something about it. But don't stand in my ring and question my credibility when you've been sitting at home watching while I've been out here working. That's a fair response. Jade's not wrong. She has been working. She has been putting on matches and doing the job WWE asked her to do. The fact that WWE chose to push her fast isn't her fault. She didn't book herself. So Jade defending her accomplishments makes sense and gives her a legitimate grievance against Naomi's accusations. This is what makes the feud work. Both women have valid points. Naomi's right that Jade got fast-tracked. Jade's right that she's done everything asked of her. There's no clear-cut heel or babyface here. It's two strong-willed women with different perspectives colliding, and that creates compelling television. Social media exploded immediately. Within minutes, Naomi and Jade Cargill were trending worldwide on Twitter. Wrestling websites published dozens of articles. YouTube channels started pumping out reaction videos. Everyone had an opinion. Some sided with Naomi, praising her for speaking uncomfortable truths. Others sided with Jade, defending her push and accomplishments. The division was perfect. That's how you know you've created a hot angle. Behind the scenes, reports started coming out about how this feud came together. Apparently, Naomi pitched the idea herself. She wanted to come back with an edge, not as the happy-go-lucky babyface she was before. She wanted to show a different side of her character, and targeting Jade was the perfect vehicle. WWE brass loved the idea because it immediately positions Naomi as a top contender and gives Jade her first real feud as champion. But here's where things get interesting. There are also reports that not everyone backstage is happy about this angle. Some wrestlers feel that Naomi's promo was too shoot-y, too close to real backstage politics. They worry that it sets a precedent where anyone can cut work-shoot promos questioning how people got their spots. Others defend it, saying wrestling needs more edgy, controversial content to compete with other entertainment options. This backstage tension actually adds to the story. If wrestlers are genuinely divided on whether this angle is appropriate, that real emotion will bleed through into the performances. And fans can sense when something feels real versus manufactured. This feud has that real edge to it. Let me ask you this, should WWE do more work-shoot angles like this? Or should they stay away from blurring reality and fiction? Sound off below. The following week's SmackDown was must-see television. WWE announced that Naomi and Jade would both be on the show but kept them separated intentionally. Jade opened the show, cutting a promo in the ring about how she's not going to let someone who just came back tarnish her championship reign. She challenges Naomi to face her at the next premium live event with the title on the line. Before Naomi can respond, Tiffany Stratton interrupts. She reminds everyone that she never got her rematch after losing the title to Jade. She deserves the title shot, not Naomi who's been gone for a year. This creates a fascinating dynamic. Now we've got three women vying for position, and WWE can milk this for weeks. Naomi eventually comes out, but not through the entrance ramp. She attacks Jade from behind, through the crowd. Security's nowhere near ready. Naomi unleashes a flurry of strikes, takes Jade down, and locks in a submission hold in the middle of the ring. It takes multiple referees and security guards to pull Naomi off. And as she's being dragged away, she screams, "You're not ready for me." That visual is powerful. Naomi standing tall while Jade's being checked on by trainers. The champion looking vulnerable for the first time. The returning challenger looking like an absolute killer. That's how you build a challenger. That's how you make fans believe someone can actually beat the champion. Tiffany Stratton adds another wrinkle because now WWE has options. They can do a triple threat match. They can do a tournament to determine the number one contender. They can do a series of qualifying matches. There are multiple paths forward, and all of them are interesting. My prediction is that WWE does Jade vs Naomi one-on-one at the next PLE, but Tiffany costs Jade the match somehow. That sets up a feud between Jade and Tiffany while Naomi moves on as champion. Then eventually, you do Naomi vs Tiffany for the title. That gives you three major matches from one angle, and it keeps the women's championship picture fresh for months. But let's circle back to the elephant in the room. Is Naomi right about Jade being overpushed? Let's look at the facts. Jade came to WWE in late 2023. Within a year, she's been in multiple high-profile storylines, gotten significant TV time, and now she's champion. Compare that to someone like Naomi who debuted on the main roster in 2012 and didn't win a singles championship until 2017. That's 5 years of grinding versus Jade's 1 year. Or look at Bianca Belair. She spent years in NXT becoming one of the best workers in the company before getting called up. Even then, she had to prove herself for another year before getting her first championship. Or Rhea Ripley, who spent years developing her character before finally breaking through. The pattern is clear: most women have to work for years before getting to the top. Jade got there in months. Now, is that Jade's fault? Absolutely not. She didn't book herself. She didn't demand to be pushed. WWE saw money in her and decided to capitalize quickly. That's a business decision. But it doesn't change the fact that it creates resentment among wrestlers who did have to take the long road. And Naomi channeling that resentment into her character is brilliant. Who do you think should be women's champion by the end of 2025? Naomi, Jade, or Tiffany? Cast your vote in the comments. Let's talk about Naomi's in-ring ability, because that's crucial to this feud working. Naomi's one of the most athletic women on the roster. Her offense is flashy and impactful. She can work multiple styles, and she's proven over the years that she can have great matches with different types of opponents. She's not just all talk, she can back it up. Jade, on the other hand, is still developing. She's athletic, she's strong, and she's improving rapidly. But she doesn't have the same depth of experience that Naomi has. That creates a compelling David versus Goliath dynamic, except Jade's the Goliath physically but David in terms of experience. How WWE books that contrast will determine whether this feud is just good or truly great. If WWE lets Naomi outwork Jade in their matches, showing her veteran savvy and ring psychology, that tells a story. It validates Naomi's claim that Jade isn't ready. But if Jade can keep up and even surprise Naomi with her improvements, that tells a different story, one where Jade proves she belongs at the top regardless of how fast she got there. The promos between now and their eventual match are going to be crucial. WWE needs to give both women time to flesh out their characters and motivations. Naomi needs to explain why she's so angry beyond just "you got pushed too fast." Maybe there's personal history we don't know about. Maybe Jade said something disrespectful about women who left to have kids. Give us depth. And Jade needs to show vulnerability. She can't just be the unstoppable monster. She needs to show doubt, frustration, and the weight of carrying the championship. Make us believe that Naomi's words are getting in her head. That makes their confrontations more meaningful. One thing WWE's been great at lately is video packages. They need to make an incredible package for this feud. Show Naomi's entire journey: her debut, her struggles, her first championship, her loss, her pregnancy announcement, and now her return. Juxtapose that with Jade's meteoric rise. Use music, editing, and narration to make viewers feel the weight of this match. Make it feel important. Because here's the truth: if WWE books this right, Naomi vs. Jade could be the women's match of the year. Not because of technical perfection, but because of storytelling, because of emotion, because of stakes. The best matches aren't always the most athletic, they're the ones where we care most about the outcome. I'm going to say something controversial now. Naomi should win the championship in their first match. Not because Jade isn't good, but because the story demands it. Naomi's entire return is built on the idea that Jade doesn't deserve the title yet. If Jade wins clean, that undercuts Naomi's entire message and makes her look like all talk. But if Naomi wins, it validates everything she said and sets up Jade's redemption arc. Jade losing the title immediately also keeps her from stagnating as champion. Sometimes the best thing for a young champion is to lose the belt early, go on a journey to improve, and then reclaim it later as a more complete performer. That's character development. That's long-term storytelling. After Naomi wins, Jade can spend months proving herself. She can have great matches against everyone in the division. She can show humility and growth. And then when she finally beats Naomi in the rematch, maybe at WrestleMania, it means so much more because she earned it through hard work and improvement. Do you think Jade Cargill is ready to be a long-term champion, or does she need more development? Let me know your thoughts. Let's address some criticism this angle has received. Some fans think Naomi's promo was too harsh and made Jade look bad. They argue that WWE shouldn't be burying their own talent, even in storyline. I disagree. Wrestling is about conflict. If everyone's nice to each other, there's no drama. Naomi's harshness makes this feel real and gives Jade something to overcome. Others think this angle is unfair to Jade because it highlights her inexperience. But again, that's the story. Jade's inexperience is a fact. Turning it into a storyline is smart because it acknowledges reality while giving Jade a chance to address it through her performances. Some criticism is valid though. WWE needs to be careful not to make this a one-sided burial. Jade needs to get her licks in too. She needs to expose Naomi's weaknesses, question whether Naomi can still go after a year off, and make us wonder if Naomi's all ego and no substance. Balance is key. The women's division on SmackDown is in a fascinating place right now. You've got Naomi and Jade as the top feud. You've got Tiffany Stratton waiting in the wings. You've got veterans like Bayley and Charlotte Flair lurking. You've got rising stars like Blair Davenport and Elektra Lopez trying to break through. There's depth here. WWE just needs to use it. One thing I hope WWE doesn't do is hot potato the championship. Once Naomi wins, if my prediction is correct, she needs a substantial reign. 3 to 6 months minimum. Let her defend against multiple challengers. Let her build credibility as champion. Then when Jade finally wins it back, it feels earned rather than just returning to the status quo. I also hope WWE doesn't forget about Naomi's personal life and the storytelling. She just came back from having a baby. That's a huge deal. WWE should incorporate that into her character. Show her as a mother fighting for her daughter's future. Show her as someone who has perspective on what matters but is still hungry to cement her legacy. That adds layers. Jade's character also needs development. What's her motivation beyond being champion? What drives her? What does she fear? WWE's been presenting her as this confident powerhouse, but we need to see beneath the surface. Give her doubts. Give her struggles. Make her three-dimensional. The best WWE feuds have always been about more than just titles. Stone Cold vs. Mr. McMahon was about anti-authority. The Rock vs. Triple H was about who deserves to be the face of the company. CM Punk vs. John Cena was about tradition versus change. Naomi vs. Jade needs that extra layer beyond just "I want your belt." Maybe it's about legacy. Maybe it's about proving you belong. Maybe it's about respect. Whatever the deeper theme is, WWE needs to identify it and lean into it hard. Who's your favorite women's wrestler on SmackDown right now? I'm curious to see who has the most support in the comments. Let me paint a picture of how their match should go. It's a premium live event. The crowd's hot. The video package plays, recapping the entire feud. Naomi's music hits first. She comes out focused, no dancing, all business. Jade's music hits next. She comes out with the championship, looking confident, but you can see a flicker of nervousness. The bell rings. They circle each other. Jade tries to use her power advantage early, but Naomi's too quick. She uses her speed and agility to avoid Jade's big moves and land quick strikes. The crowd split, half chanting for Naomi, half for Jade. Both women get near falls that make you believe they could win. Mid-match, Jade catches Naomi with a huge spine buster and starts to take control. She's dominating with power moves, and it looks like Naomi might not be able to overcome the physical difference. But Naomi digs deep, remembers everything she said about Jade not being ready, and starts targeting Jade's inexperience. She uses veteran tricks, eye rakes when the ref's not looking, pulling the hair during grapples, frustrating Jade mentally. Jade gets flustered and makes a mistake. Naomi capitalizes with her finisher. 1-2-3, new champion. The crowd erupts. Naomi's emotional. She's vindicated. Everything she said came true. Jade's devastated, lying in the ring, realizing she wasn't ready yet. That's storytelling. That's a match people remember. But here's an alternate ending that could work too. Naomi has Jade beaten. She hits her finisher. She goes for the pin. But before the 3 count, Tiffany Stratton runs in and breaks it up. Disqualification. Naomi wins by DQ but doesn't get the title. Now you've got a triple threat feud and a reason for a rematch at the next PLE. That extends the story and keeps everyone hot. Either way, this match needs to feel important. Big match feel, big match stakes, big match payoff. WWE can't phone this in. They need to give these women time, promote it properly, and deliver a match that justifies all the buildup. The potential for this feud is enormous. If WWE handles it correctly, we're looking at a rivalry that could define the SmackDown women's division for all of 2025. Multiple matches, evolving characters, and genuine emotional investment from the audience. That's what modern wrestling needs more of. But WWE has to resist their worst impulses. No overbooked finishes every single time. No constant interference. No making this about men or managers or outside parties. This needs to be about Naomi and Jade, 2 strong women settling their differences in the ring. Keep it focused. Keep it personal. Keep it real. I'm genuinely excited about this feud in a way I haven't been about a WWE women's feud in a while. Both women are talented. Both have legitimate star power. And the story writes itself. WWE just needs to let it play out without overthinking. The coming weeks will tell us everything. How does Jade respond to Naomi's accusations? How does Naomi prove she's still got it after a year away? How does Tiffany fit into the picture? These questions will keep us tuning in, and that's exactly what WWE wants. Final question for you: what stipulation should Naomi vs. Jade have for their big match? Steel cage? Submission match? No DQ? Let me know what you want to see in the comments section. Naomi's return and her brutal message to Jade Cargill is exactly the kind of edgy, controversial content WWE needs to create must-see television. It's not safe. It's not predictable. It's compelling, and it has people talking. Whether you agree with what Naomi said or think she crossed a line, you're invested now. You want to see how this plays out. And that's the magic of great wrestling storytelling. So buckle up, because the SmackDown women's division is about to get real interesting. Naomi's back. Jade's being challenged like never before. And we're all going to be watching to see who comes out on top. This is going to be one hell of a ride, and I cannot wait to see where it goes.